On the night of April 14, 1912, the Atlantic Ocean was calm, cold, and silent. Above it sailed a ship so grand, so powerful, that people believed nothing on earth could destroy it. It was not just a ship. It was a symbol of human pride, ambition, and technological triumph. Its name was RMS Titanic. They called her Unsinkable. Newspapers praised her. Engineers trusted her. Passengers believed in her. And yet, within just 2 hours and 40 minutes, the greatest ship ever built vanished into the dark depths of the ocean, taking more than 1,500 souls with her. More than a century later, one question still haunts history. How did the world's greatest ship disappear on its very first voyage? Tonight, we uncover the mystery of Titanic. Not just the iceberg, but the ignored warnings, fatal decisions, human arrogance, and chilling coincidences that turned a dream into the deadliest maritime disaster of its time. At the beginning of the 20th century, the world was obsessed with progress. Nations competed in industry, science, and power. The Atlantic Ocean had become the main battlefield, not for war, but for luxury and speed. The British shipping company White Star Line wanted to dominate this race. Their plan was simple. Not the fastest ships, but the largest, safest, and most luxurious ships ever built. Thus was born the Olympic-class liners, RMS Olympic, RMS Titanic, RMS Britannic. Among them, Titanic was the crown jewel. Construction began in 1909 at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast. Over 15,000 workers labored day and night. Titanic stretched 882 feet long, stood 11 stories tall, and weighed over 46,000 tons. She had electric elevators, a swimming pool, Turkish baths, a gymnasium, fine dining salons, grand staircases. For first-class passengers, Titanic was a floating palace. But what truly made her legendary was her safety system. Titanic had 16 watertight compartments, designed so that if one flooded, the others would remain sealed. Engineers claimed she could stay afloat even if 4 compartments were breached. This is where the myth was born. God himself could not sink this ship, some proudly said. That belief would soon become fatal. Titanic's maiden voyage was scheduled for April 10, 1912, from Southampton, England, to New York City. On board were some of the richest people in the world, immigrants seeking a new life in America, crew members confident in their ship, over 2,200 people in total. Among the wealthy were John Jacob Astor IV, Benjamin Guggenheim, Isidor Straus. Below deck were third-class passengers, families, laborers, dreamers, hoping Titanic would carry them into a better future. As Titanic sailed, warnings began to arrive. Wireless operators received multiple iceberg warnings from nearby ships, ice fields ahead, floating bergs directly on Titanic's route. Some messages never reached the bridge. Others were ignored. Why? Because Titanic had never faced danger before. Because the sea was calm. Because confidence had replaced caution. Captain Edward John Smith, one of the most experienced captains of his time, chose to maintain near maximum speed around 22 knots. He wanted to arrive early. He wanted to impress. That decision would seal Titanic's fate. April 14, 1912. The temperature dropped sharply. The ocean was unusually calm. So calm that waves did not break against icebergs, making them harder to spot. At 11:40 p.m., 2 lookouts, Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee, stood high in the crow's nest. They had no binoculars. Suddenly, Fleet saw something dark ahead. Iceberg, right ahead. The warning came too late. First Officer William Murdoch ordered, "Hard starboard turn." Engines reversed. Titanic began to turn, but her size worked against her. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side, ripping open the hull below the waterline across 6 compartments. 6. Titanic was designed to survive only 4. The damage was silent but deadly. Passengers barely felt the impact. Some thought it was nothing more than a vibration. But below deck, seawater rushed in tons per second. Ship designer Thomas Andrews quickly assessed the damage. His conclusion was terrifyingly calm. The ship will sink. It is a mathematical certainty. Titanic had less than 3 hours. Yet panic did not immediately spread. Why? Because no one believed Titanic could sink. Even crew members hesitated to load lifeboats. And that brings us to the greatest human error of all. Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats. Enough for 1,178 people. There were over 2,200 on board. Why so few? Because regulations were outdated. Because more boats cluttered the deck. Because Titanic was believed unsinkable. Even worse, many lifeboats were launched half-empty. Women and children were prioritized, but confusion, disbelief, and class divisions ruled the deck. Third-class passengers were delayed by locked gates. Many never reached the lifeboats at all. Some boats left with less than 30 people, despite space for 65. As the bow sank lower, panic finally erupted. The ship's band continued playing, music echoing through chaos. Some prayed, some jumped into freezing water. Some refused to believe until the very end. At 2:20 a.m., Titanic broke apart and disappeared beneath the Atlantic. The ocean swallowed her. The silence that followed was worse than the screams. The water temperature was -2 degrees Celsius, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Most who entered the sea died within minutes from hypothermia. Lifeboats drifted nearby, but few returned, fearing they would be swamped. By dawn, over 1,500 people were dead. Only 705 survived. The RMS Carpathia arrived hours later to rescue the living and witness the dead. Titanic was gone. The world was stunned. For decades, the official story remained simple: iceberg, human error, tragedy. But mysteries began to surface. Theory 1: poor quality steel. Studies of recovered wreckage show Titanic steel was brittle in cold temperatures, causing it to crack rather than bend. Theory 2: coal fire. A coal bunker fire burned for days before departure, possibly weakening the hull near the impact zone. Theory 3: optical illusion. Atmospheric conditions may have created a mirage, hiding the iceberg until it was too late. Theory 4: ignored warnings. More than 6 iceberg warnings were received, but never acted upon. Titanic didn't just hit an iceberg. She hit human arrogance. For 73 years, Titanic remained lost. In 1985, Dr. Robert Ballard finally discovered the wreck, 12,500 feet below the surface. What shocked the world? Titanic was split in two. This proved eyewitness accounts correct and revealed the final moments of unimaginable terror. Today, the wreck is slowly dissolving, consumed by rust-eating bacteria. Soon, Titanic will disappear forever again. The mystery of Titanic is not how she sank. It is why we believed she couldn't. Titanic was not defeated by nature alone. She was destroyed by overconfidence, ignored warnings, poor decisions, class inequality, human pride. She became a reminder written in iron and ice. No matter how advanced we become, nature always has the final word. And deep in the darkness of the Atlantic, Titanic still whispers her warning to the world.